Let me tell you something. Stop explaining yourself to demons and people. Stop justifying your light to those who prefer the dark. Some folks ain't confused. They're committed. Committed to the chaos. Committed to staying broken. And every time you try to clarify, to fix it, to make him see you right, you dim your fire just to match their shadows. You weren't born to shrink. You were born to shine. So what are you doing? Handing your peace over like it's worthless. That peace you fought for, that purpose you prayed for. Don't let anybody to drag you back into storms you had to climb out of. Listen, evil doesn't always come with a pitchfork. Sometimes it wears a smile. Sometimes it talks like family. Sometimes it hugs like a friend. But if it pulls you out of character into your spirit, if it keeps you second guessing yourself, that ain't love. That's warfare. You got one job. Protect your calling, guard your peace, defend your direction. You don't owe explanations to people who don't want to understand you. They want to dismantle you. Stop pouring your soul into people committed to misunderstanding you. There's a heavy price to pay when you give your energy to the wrong people. People who aren't listening to understand, but listening to judge, to twist, to tear down. You were never meant to be everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay. But the mistake we often make is thinking if we just explain ourselves better, if we say it the right way, if we come with the right tone, if we open our heart wide enough, they'll finally get it. Let me break it to you. Some people don't want to get it. Their minds are made up, and your truth threatens their comfort, so they'll reject it. Every time you can't change hearts that don't want to change, you can't pour water into a cup that's already full of poison. Some people are not looking for understanding. They're looking for a reason to stay bitter, and your growth offends them. Your peace, it disturbs their chaos. Your light, it burns in eyes that have adjusted to darkness. And that's not your fault. That's not your problem. But it will become your burden if you keep handing them access to your spirit. Letting the wrong people inside your head is like giving a thief the keys to your home and wondering why things keep going missing. Your confidence? Gone. Your clarity? Foggy. Your joy? Diminished. And for what? Or someone who never planned to build with you, just someone looking to break you. So guard your energy, protect it like it's gold, because it is. Not everyone is equipped to handle your heart, your ideas, your presence. And that's not arrogance. That's awareness. That's maturity. That's wisdom. The more you grow, the more selective you have to become with where your energy flows. Because if you spend your time trying to prove your worth to people who are blind to your value, you'll end up exhausted, empty, and wondering why you're stuck. Understand this, not every conversation is worth having. Not every argument is worth winning. Not every relationship is worth saving. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing. Walk away. Let them keep their opinion, and you keep your peace. Your purpose is too precious to be explained to small minds with loud voices. You don't owe explanations to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Save that breath. Use it to speak life into your dreams, into your goals, into people who actually want to see you win. Not everyone deserves your energy, and that's not being cold, that's being conscious. If someone can't meet you where you are, wish them well and keep walking. Because the ones meant to be in your life won't need convincing. They'll see you, they'll understand you, and more than that, they'll respect your energy enough not to waste it. Demons don't always come in the form of enemies. Sometimes they wear familiar faces. They laugh with you, eat with you, even call you a family. But deep down, they're not there to lift you, they're there to limit you. You see, not every person who's close is aligned. Some are only close enough to watch, not support. They smile in the light, but secretly root for your downfall in the dark. And what makes it dangerous is that it's hard to see the difference until you've already been cut. Because betrayal never comes from strangers, it comes from those you trusted. You have to understand, not every relationship is rooted in love. Some are rooted in control, envy, manipulation, and insecurity. Some people only love you when you're not doing better than them. They'll tolerate your presence as long as you don't challenge their comfort. But the moment you start growing, healing, evolving, that's when the mask slips. That's when the passive aggression begins. The backhanded compliments, the quiet competition. And if you're not careful, you'll start shrinking yourself to stay acceptable to people who are never rooting for your full potential. What's worse is we often excuse it because it's a family, or we've known each other for years. But time doesn't equal trust. Blood doesn't equal loyalty. And closeness doesn't equal support. You have to stop confusing proximity with purpose. Just because someone's in your circle doesn't mean they're in your corner. Some people are only there to study your moves, not to stand beside you. Miafa. They want the front row seat to your life, not to cheer you on, but to find flaws to gossip about, weaknesses to exploit. And here's the hard truth. Those people won't always show their horns. They move subtly. They challenge you in ways that seem like a joke's. They question your decisions under the disguise of a concern. They drain your spirit but call it just being real. Those are the demons, not because they're evil in the movie sense, but because they operate out of hurt, jealousy, and ego. They tear others down to feel tall. They sow doubt where you plant confidence. The worst part? You'll feel guilty when you try to pull away. That's the trap. They've built a version of love that's dependent on your compliance. Step out of line and suddenly you're the problem. You're changing. You're acting different. And yes, you are different because growth demands change and elevation reveals what can't go with you. So start paying attention, watch the energy, listen to the tone behind the words, watch how they react when you win, when you heal, when you shine. If it's not genuine, it's poison. Don't argue, don't explain, just distance. Protect your spirit from the demons dressed like loved ones. You weren't called to carry their dysfunction. You were called to walk in freedom. And freedom starts with knowing who to let go of, even when it hurts. Discernment is one of the most powerful tools you'll ever develop. Because without it, you'll keep confusing harmful people for hurting people. And there's a big difference. Hurt people can still heal. Hurt people might lash out, but deep down they're open to growth, to understanding, to accountability. But harmful people, they don't want to grow. They want control. They want power. They want to keep you second-guessing yourself so you never realize how powerful you actually are. See, discernment doesn't just come from experience, it comes from awareness. It's the ability to step back from a situation and ask, what is this person really showing me? Not what they're saying, not what I wish they were. But what are they showing me? That's where wisdom lives. Because a snake doesn't always hiss. Sometimes it smiles. Sometimes it listens. Sometimes it comforts. And if you don't have discernment, you'll keep feeding the snake and calling it a friend. A person who's hurting may lash out once, then feel remorse, reflect, and change. A person who's harmful will justify their behavior, deflect blame, and make you feel like you owe them an apology. There's a pattern, and if you're paying attention, you'll catch it. They gaslight, they twist the truth. They always play the victim, even when they're the one doing the damage. That's not hurt, that's harm. And the longer you stay around harmful people, the more you begin to lose your own identity trying to keep peace that was never real in the first place. Hurt people can walk with you toward healing. Harmful people will try to keep you stuck in cycles. They'll take advantage of your empathy, knowing you'll always give them another chance. They'll feed on your kindness and call it a love. But love without respect is manipulation. And you can't fix someone who refuses to take responsibility for the mess they create. Discernment says, I see the pain behind your eyes, but I won't let you project it onto me. It says, I can love you from a distance while protecting my peace. It gives you permission to say no, to walk away without needing a dramatic exit, to create space without guilt. Because here's the truth. People who mean you well won't constantly leave you feeling drained, confused, or unworthy. You've got to stop giving harmful people the benefit of the doubt when their actions have already given you the truth. You're not cold for protecting your spirit. You're wise. You're not heartless for cutting off toxicity. You're healthy. And the healthier you become, the more toxic people will accuse you of being a different. Good. Stay different. Stay discerning. Because your purpose, your peace, and your progress depend on your ability to know who belongs in your space and who's just there to sabotage it. Discernment is not judgment. It's self-respect. It's spiritual clarity. And when you walk in discernment, you stop trying to rescue people who were never drowning. They were dragging you down for company. Let them go. Let them be. And let your peace lead the way. Your purpose is not up for debate. It's not a community project. It's not something that needs to be voted on, approved, or even understood by anyone else. When you are walking in purpose, the need for validation dies. The desire to explain yourself fades. Because purpose isn't about pleasing people. It's about fulfilling the calling that was placed on your life long before anyone had an opinion about it. Too often, we waste time trying to convince people who don't see what we see. We explain our vision to people who don't even believe in themselves, let alone in us. We get caught up trying to make them comfortable with our decisions, trying to soften our path so they can feel okay about our next move. But here's the truth. When you're truly walking in purpose, your steps will often confuse others, especially those who are still sitting still. Some people are not supposed to understand your journey. It's not because they're bad people, it's because your assignment wasn't given to them. They weren't in the room when God whispered that dream into your spirit. They didn't stay up with you through the nights you wrestled with doubt, cried out for clarity, or stood in silence waiting for a sign. So why would you expect them to grasp what drives you? Stop asking blind people to validate your vision. Stop watering down your dreams so they're easier for small minds to digest. Your purpose is too important to be diluted by opinions. Let them talk. Let them question. Let them misunderstand. You weren't built for their comfort. You were built for impact. And impact doesn't come with applause. It comes with resistance. It comes with solitude. It comes with discipline, sacrifice, and tunnel vision. You've got to stop looking over your shoulder for approval. The moment you begin explaining your every move, you give people permission to comment on a path they were never meant to walk. And their confusion can become your delay. Their doubt can creep into your mindset and plant seeds of hesitation where there used to be fire. That's how purpose gets silenced, not by failure, but by fear disguised as people-pleasing. You don't owe anyone the story of how you're building your life. Just build. You don't have to justify why you cut certain people off, why you moved differently, why you said no to what everyone else said yes to. When your soul is aligned with purpose, you stop needing explanations to feel secure. You start trusting the silence, because silence doesn't mean absence. It means focus. It means obedience. It means power. Purpose is not loud. It's not dramatic. It's steady. It's intentional. It's personal. And when you embrace that truth, you stop running in circles trying to be understood by people who were never meant to walk beside you. Keep your eyes forward. Keep your heart rooted. And keep reminding yourself, this path wasn't given to them, it was given to you. So walk it with your head high and your peace intact. Don't negotiate with noise. When you know who you are and where you're going, not every voice deserves your attention. Not every comment needs a response. Not every challenge is worth your energy. But the moment you start explaining yourself to everyone, trying to fix every misunderstanding, trying to defend every move, you start draining your spirit. You start living for approval instead of alignment. And before long, you're off your path, lost in a crowd of opinions that were never meant to shape your destiny in the first place. Noise comes in many forms. It can be criticism from people who've never built anything, judgment from those too scared to chase their own dreams, or passive aggression disguised as advice. And the louder you get in your purpose, the louder the noise becomes. That's the test. Can you stay focused when distractions get personal? Can you keep building when they try to tear your name down? Can you walk in peace when all around you is chaos? See, the noise isn't always external. Sometimes it's internal, that little voice that tells you you're not ready, not good enough, not worthy. That voice that picks up the doubts of others and turns them into your own. You've got to shut that voice down. You've got to recognize that noise doesn't come to inform. It comes to interrupt. Its goal is not to help you think, it's to make you overthink. It wants to keep you second-guessing, over-explaining, hesitating, doubting. But you can't build momentum if you're constantly questioning your own direction. You don't have time to argue with people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You don't have time to explain your calling to minds that can't grasp your vision. Let them talk. Let them whisper. Let them doubt. While they're busy making noise, you're busy making moves. Your focus is your power, and the moment you let the noise distract you, you give away that power. You start negotiating with people who have no stake in your growth, no investment in your outcome, and that's a battle you'll never win, because noise doesn't want clarity, it wants chaos. Protect your focus like it's sacred, because it is. You've come too far, worked too hard, healed too deeply to be thrown off by voices that don't even know the whole story. Silence isn't weakness. Sometimes silence is strategy. It's strength. It's the ability to say, I don't need to win this argument. I need to win in life. That's the mindset of someone walking in purpose. So walk away from the distractions, mute the opinions, block the noise, not out of pride, but out of protection. Not because you're afraid of criticism, but because you refuse to let confusion rent space in your spirit. Let your work speak. Let your life speak. Let your peace speak. And when the noise gets louder, you get quieter. Not because you're retreating, but because you're rising. You're building. And builders don't argue with hecklers. They just keep building. Peace is not a luxury. It's a necessity. And in this world full of noise, chaos, and emotional warfare, peace has become a rare and sacred currency. You don't just stumble into peace. You fight for it. You protect it. You earn it through growth, through boundaries, through the discipline of walking away from what no longer serves your soul. And once you've tasted real peace, you won't trade it for anything, especially not for people who thrive in confusion. There are people who don't want peace. They want drama. They want control. They want chaos, because that's where they feel powerful. And when you've outgrown that level of dysfunction, your calm becomes a threat. Your silence becomes offensive. Your refusal to engage becomes attitude. But don't fall for the bait. Don't let someone pull you back into an argument just because they're uncomfortable with your healing. People who are addicted to dysfunction will always resent the ones who break the cycle. You have to understand, peace doesn't come from fixing everyone around you. It comes from fixing the way you respond to them. It comes from learning that not everything deserves your reaction. Not every invitation to conflict needs an RSVP. When you truly value peace, you stop explaining, stop defending, and start detaching. Not because you're cold, but because you're wise. Because you've realized that your energy is finite and you're no longer willing to waste it trying to prove yourself to people who don't even know how to honor your presence. Peace isn't just quiet. Peace is alignment. It's being rooted in your identity, centered in your spirit, and focused on your purpose. It's walking into a room and not needing to be the loudest voice. It's letting go of people, habits, and conversations that pull you out of character. And the people who truly love you will protect your peace right alongside you. They won't guilt you for taking space. They won't mock your boundaries. They'll understand that your peace isn't a rejection of them. It's a reflection of your growth. But some won't get it. Some will try to poke at you, provoke you, drag you back into the chaos, because that's where they feel in control. Let them. Let them shout. Let them spin in circles. You don't have to dance to the rhythm of their dysfunction. You graduated from that class. You're living in a new level of awareness, and peace is your diploma. So build your life around peace. Make decisions that protect your peace. Walk away from anything that threatens your peace. Because at the end of the day, all the success, all the money, all the applause in the world means nothing if you can't sleep at night. If your mind is cluttered, if your heart is heavy. Real wealth is a calm spirit. Real success is waking up without anxiety. And real power is being unbothered by things that used to break you. That's the reward of peace. And once you've found it, protect it like it's gold. Because it is. Freedom is not just about what's around you. It's about what's within you. True freedom is being so rooted in your purpose, so grounded in your truth, that no opinion, no rumor, no lie, no rejection can shake you. It's waking up and realizing you no longer need to explain yourself, perform for acceptance, or carry the weight of other people's expectations on your back. It's when you finally exhale and say, I'm done living to be understood by people who were never meant to understand me. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out. But standing out comes at a cost. You will be misunderstood. You will be judged. People will whisper, assume, twist your intentions. And the most dangerous thing you can do is start living your life to correct their perception. That's bondage. That's walking on eggshells. That's adjusting your light so it doesn't offend people still hiding in the dark. But freedom? Freedom is choosing to be misunderstood if that means staying true to yourself. Let them talk. Let them speculate. Let them draw their own conclusions. You don't owe anyone the version of you they've created in their mind. You don't need to shrink to fit into boxes they built from insecurity. Free people don't explain. They live. They move with intention. They walk in purpose. And they understand that peace doesn't come from being liked. It comes from being authentic. Some of the most powerful moments in life are quiet. It's not when you clap back, argue, or set the record straight. It's when you simply choose to keep walking. Not out of arrogance, but out of clarity. Because you finally understand their misunderstanding of you is not your emergency. Their disapproval is not your assignment. Their inability to see your heart does not define your character. The real work is not changing minds, it's changing your mindset. It's no longer needing applause to feel worthy. It's no longer seeking validation for your decisions. It's realizing you can be at peace even when others are at war with who they think you are. That's real liberation. That's emotional and spiritual maturity. Freedom is not found in the absence of noise. It's found in your ability to stay grounded while the noise tries to pull you in. It's when your soul is so anchored in your truth that storms may come, but you don't bend. You don't break. You don't beg anyone to stay, to agree, or to approve. You're free because you finally let go of the illusion that you need to be everything to everyone. So breathe, detach, release. You don't have to chase peace. It's already within you. You just have to stop giving it away to people who don't value it. Keep your head high, your heart open, and your spirit light. Because the moment you stop explaining yourself to people who don't deserve the story, you take your power back. And that power is freedom.